Imagine finding a woman who is incredibly loyal and amazingly industrious, and then giving her up because you thought it would mess up your finances. Now, in ancient Jewish history, if a woman's husband died, she was supposed to be redeemed by a close relative. Now, walk with me. This lady, whose name was Ruth, was actually not an Israelite. She was not a Jew. She was the daughter-in-law to Naomi, whose husband had died and who had to leave her land because of famine. Not only did Naomi's husband die, Ruth's husband died. But being who she was, Ruth refused to leave her mother-in-law, and she doggedly followed Naomi. When it came time for her to get her own man, quote-unquote, her redeemer, a second husband, the opportunity was offered to a guy whose name was not told to us in the Bible to redeem Ruth. And guess what? The consideration of the man was the fact that Ruth's presence would mess his finances up. Now, I did a little bit of reading into why that had happened, and I'm obviously abridging this story to make it short enough for a reel. If you're interested, have a look at the book of Ruth. As a matter of fact, chapter 4 will probably be of interest to you. Now, the thinking around what the man's decision was A, if Ruth gave birth to a child, the child will be entitled to the estate of Ruth's dead husband. The child may also be entitled to the estate of her new husband. And what that meant for the man's potentially existing children was there would be a bit of a squabble about who gets what. Not only that, the presence of Ruth in this man's life was potentially going to be an extra mouth or mouths to feed. Enter Boaz. Boaz, who is regarded in the Bible as the kinsman redeemer, not only took up Ruth along with everything she came with, he was willing to pay the added price of buying her redemption off of the original redeemer. Let me explain. So if Boaz were to redeem Ruth, it would not be according to custom. So he would need to pay the man who was originally supposed to redeem Ruth, and before he would be allowed to then redeem Ruth and buy the properties of her dead husband from all the people to whom it had been sold. And Boaz was willing to do all this. And what is the moral of the story? If you see someone who is with you and every time they're called upon to assist you in some way, shape or form, and all they can think about is, oh, how much is this going to cost me? What inconvenience is going to be to me? Oh, and now I have to leave my work and come and look after your kids for you, blah, 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 blah. Be careful. That may not be your redeemer for that particular situation. When the time comes for you to choose an opportunity, please do not reject a decent opportunity because there may be a little bit of work to do here and there.